starting position 1, 1. Transquarter, transquarter 3, 3. Transquarter, transquarter 1, 1. Starting position 2, 1. Transquarter, transquarter 4, 3. Transquarter, transquarter 2, 1. Starting position 3, 1. Transquarter, transquarter 1, 3. Transquarter, transporter 3, 1. Starting position 4, 1. Transquarter, transporter 2, 3. Transquarter, transporter 4, 1. Starting position 1, 2. Transquarter, transporter 3, 4. Transporter, transporter 1, 2. Starting position 2, 2. Starting transporter, transporter 4, 4. Transporter, transporter 2, 2. Starting position 3, 2. Transporter, transporter 1, 4. Transporter, transporter 3, 2. Starting position 4, 2. Transquarter, transporter 2, 4. Transporter, transporter 4, 2. Starting position 1, 1. Transporter, transporter 3, 3. Transporter, transporter 1, 1. Starting position 2, 1. Starting position 1, 2. Transporter, transporter 3, 4. Transporter, transporter 1, 2. Starting position 1, 3. Transporter, transporter 3, 1. Transporter, transporter 1, 3. Starting position 1, 4. Transporter, transporter 3, 2. Transporter, transporter 1, 4. Starting position 2, 1. Transporter, transporter 4, 3. Transporter, transporter 2, 1. Starting position 2, 2. Transporter, transporter 4, 4. Transporter, transporter 2, 2. Starting position 2, 3. Transporter, transporter 4, 1. Transporter, transporter 2, 3. Starting position 2, 4. Transporter, transporter 4, 2. Transporter, transporter 2, 4. Starting position AA. Transquarter, transporter CC. Transporter, transporter AA. Starting position BA. Transporter, transporter DC. Transporter, transporter BA. Starting position CA. Transporter, transporter AC. Transporter, transporter CA. Starting position DA. Transporter, transporter BC. Transporter, transporter DA. Starting position AB. Transporter, transporter CD. Transporter, transporter AB. Starting position BB. Transporter, transporter DD. Transporter, transporter BB. Starting position CB. Transporter, transporter AD. Transporter, transporter CB. Starting position DB. Transporter, transporter BD. Transporter, transporter DB. Starting position AA. Transporter, transporter CC. Transporter, transporter AA. Starting position AB. Transporter, transporter CD. Transporter, transporter AB. Starting position AC. Transporter, transporter CA. Transporter, transporter AC. Starting position AD. Transporter, transporter CB. Transporter, transporter AD. Starting position BA. Transporter, transporter DC. Transporter, transporter BA. Starting position BB. Transporter, transporter DD. Transporter, transporter BB. Starting position BC. Transporter, transporter DA. Transporter, transporter BC. Starting position BD. Transporter, transporter DB. Transporter, transporter BD. Starting position 1A. Transquarter, transporter 3C. Transporter, transporter 1A. Starting position 2A. Transporter, transporter 4C. Transporter, transporter 2A. Starting position 3A. Transporter, transporter 1C. Transporter, transporter 3A. Starting position 4A. Transporter, transporter 2C. Transporter, transporter 4A. Starting position 1B. Transporter, transporter 3D. Transporter, transporter 1B. Starting position 2B. Transporter, transporter 4D. Transporter, transporter 2B. Starting position 3B. Transporter, transporter 1D. Transporter, transporter 3B. Starting position 4B. Transporter, transporter 2D. Transporter, transporter 4B. A1. Starting position A1. Transporter, transporter C3. Transporter, transporter A1. Starting position A2. Transporter, transporter C4. Transporter, transporter A2. Starting position A3. Transporter, transporter C1. transporter A3, starting position A4, transporter C2, transporter A4, starting position B1, transporter D3, transporter B1, starting position B2, transporter D4, transporter B2, starting position B3, transporter D1, transporter B3, starting position B4, transporter D2, transporter B4. Starting position A1, transporter C3, transporter A1, starting position B1, transporter D3, transporter B1, starting position C1, transporter A3, transporter C1, starting position D1, transporter B3, transporter D1, starting position A2, transporter C4, transporter A2, starting position B2, transporter D4, transporter B2, starting position C2, transporter A4, transporter C2, starting position D2, transporter B4, transporter D2. Starting position 1A, transporter 3C, transporter 1A, starting position 1B, transporter 3D, transporter 1B, starting position 1C, transporter 3A, transporter 1C, starting position 1D, transporter 3B, transporter 1D, starting position 2A, transporter 4C, transporter 2A, starting position 2B, transporter 4D, transporter 2B, starting position 2C, transporter 4A, transporter 2C, starting position 2D, transporter 4B, transporter 2B.